This evening, Anglican Church in Guyana celebrates a historic occasion. Government addresses flooding in the capital city. Out-of-control truck narrowly misses President Granger's private residence. Family of 4 left homeless after fire gutted Princess Street home. In the region, in Trinidad and Tobago, government to address serious issues with inter-island ferry system. And internationally, Puerto Rico votes for statehood. Also in other news, longtime actor Adam West has died at 88.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Ramville Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel. Join us. Members of the village of Chenapao, Region 8, are questioning the reason for the arrest of a Capital News cameraman and a member of their community. On Sunday, Capital News cameraman Rudy Morris and Chenapao resident Anthony Melville were both taken into custody at the Murray Landing in Region 8, Potaro, Siparuni. Amerindian People's Affairs Executive Member Michael McGarrell traveled to the Potaro-Siparuni region to investigate the claim of illegal mining in the Kaichur National Park. He took along some members of the media, including Morris. Last month, some 21 residents of Chenapao were arrested for allegedly mining in the national park. After much public outcries, the charges were later dropped. However, the persons arrested vehemently denied mining in the Kaichur National Park and provided documentation to show they were operating on legal mining claims. Since the arrests of the residents, the military presence in the national park has been elevated, prompting the APA to undertake a fact-finding mission. Upon arriving at the KNP Arrival Center, it was discovered that it has been converted into a base camp for the Joint Services Operation, supporting McGarrell's allegation of the Kaichur National Park becoming a militarized zone. The officer in command also told McGarrell that no one would be allowed to traverse the trail traditionally used by the Chenapao villagers to hunt, fish, and access farms and mining claims. However, Morris and Melville used the boat to go investigate the boundaries of the national park, and as they were returning, the men were arrested and told they would be charged. The 2 men were still detained at the Murray Landing up to this evening. McGarrell said that he was concerned about the arrest of a member of the press corps for just executing one of his functions as a member of the Fourth Estate. He posited that the officers, upon verifying Morris's identity, should have just asked the men to leave the area. As the rainy season thunders on, the flooding of Georgetown continues to be both a problem for the residents and a high priority for the government. Senior reporter Wendell Jeffrey brings us the details.
Workers commenced on cleaning the large drainage canal on the southern side of the Larpentier Cemetery, which stretches along Toucan Street to the Mandela Avenue to the east, straight along Sussex Street to the Cemetery Road to the west. The work is moving along smoothly, but the illegal squatters on the embankment are delaying the process.
Yeah, making the job harder because you see them causing the flood. Yeah. Because you see if the people that come out with body pushing, they will be able to complete the drainage. But by the only result, we can't get to do the work as how we want to do the work. And then they don't complain about flooding. You can't complain about flooding when you there blocking the drain. You understand me? You gotta blame yourself. So you gotta see with the government, everything they call him Mr. Drain. You don't want to know what we do with Mr. Drain to come have the result with the government to do.
As we reported on Channel 2 Headline News last week, the Mayor and City Council of Georgetown has plans to address the flooding that typically occurs during the rainy season. The capital city's best defense against flooding is the simple solution of keeping clean the Dutch-installed drains. These drains and trenches line the roads all across the nation, and if careful attention is paid to their upkeep, the flooding and waterlogging would be greatly reduced. Already, the city has allocated millions to clean Georgetown's extensive drainage system. Here on Mandela Avenue in the Tocqueville, Northeast Penitence areas, there are some extensive works being carried out by workers of the MNCC. Channel 2 understands that these workers will be spending the next several days cleaning the large drainage canal. These waterways have been abandoned and severely clogged for many years, and given the current gross financial insolvency of the MNCC and the central government's reluctance to subsidize the council, it will likely take many more years to correct the existing problems. Nonetheless, the city will take any drainage assistance it will get. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, I am Wendell Jeffrey.
Thank you, Wendell. One Georgetown resident is seeking the public's assistance after experiencing a reoccurrence of renal failure. Rena Sultan of Charlotte Street, Georgetown, has undergone a kidney transplant surgery in India nearly 8 years ago, but is now seeking public assistance to offset the expenses associated with a second kidney transplant surgery she is required to take. The mother of one related that she had a kidney transplant surgery done in India in 2008 after she had been diagnosed with renal failure. But she went into remission about a year ago and currently relies on dialysis to remain alive. A nephew would be donating a kidney for this second transplant, as he has been considered the best match. The overall cost of her surgery is about 5 million Guyana dollars, but the cost of her dialysis has already left the family in a serious financial strait. Those wishing to contribute to Sultan's second kidney transplant are being kindly asked to place their donations in Republic Bank account number 298935-8. Again, that is Republic Bank account number 298-935-8. Your assistance will be greatly appreciated. Coming up on Headline News after the break. Speeding truck narrowly avoids president's former home. And Anglican Church in Guyana celebrates a first in the region.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
It's always fresh, tasty, enticing, and the best in town. Served hot from our experienced chefs. Come and enjoy our daily meals with a wide and delicious menu to choose from. Also a wide variety of pastries and dessert. We can also host your luncheons, cocktails, parties, and formal gathering. For reservation, call 225-1730, 225-0038, and delivery 225-0195 or 225-0159. The new thriving Chinese restaurant, 32 Main Street, Georgetown.
Okay, kids, you know why we're here.
Yes! We're here to buy a gift for Father's Day.
Yes, we are. Let's go do that. Clearance has the best Father's Day sale on Saturday, June 17th. Get 20 to 50% off selected designer brands of jeans, jerseys, shirts, sneakers, shoes, and suits.
Mom, let's get a cologne for Dad.
Sure, no problem. Choose from a variety of colognes, belts, wallets, and much, much more.
I think Dad's gonna like what we got him. Yes, me too.
All right, good. Well, let's go. Whether you're taking Dad out to dinner, church, or any other special occasion for Father's Day, choose Clearance. Clearance, always keeping you in style.
Here's what's happening on Waterloo Street at John Lewis Styles during the month of June. Shop for Father's Day and you could win an all-inclusive trip for two to Arrow Point Nature Resort. Buy any men's suit and get a free tie, or buy any men's pair of shoes and get a free pair of socks. Traveling this summer? Buy any luggage set and get a free travel pouch. Visit us on Waterloo Street for more choices and better prices. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
A house fire on Princess Street leaves 4 homeless. Guest reporter Shanique Greaves has more.
A family of 4 is now homeless after fire gutted their home on Sunday. At around 2:45 p.m., neighbors of the family at 1515 Princess Street reported seeing smoke coming from the top flat of the wooden building. The lead firefighter on the ground explained the scene.
When we got here, the entire top floor of the building is facing me, is engulfed in flames. Immediately we get into firefighting operations using water powered tank supply, and subsequently we use water from the canal, which you can see is very filled, and we successfully confined the fire to the top floor. Because of the exposure of the 2 buildings close by, we had to go into the defense mode of firefighting, which tells you that you prevent the fire from spreading. Both buildings to the left and right are wooden buildings, but then you can see they're only partially get scorched outside because of the successful firefighting of the fire service. So I must commend the men for work well done.
Seeing the fire, neighbors of the Princess Street family sprang into action to help quell the flames. 2 neighboring wooden homes were saved due to the quick work of the Guyana Fire Service and the assistance of the neighbors. It is believed that the fire may have started in the kitchen of the home. Nonetheless, investigations are ongoing.
Thank you, Shanique. At about 8 a.m. this morning, ranks of the Guyana Police Force, acting on information, stopped and searched a hire car on the Aurora Public Road, Essequibo Coast. During the search, they found a carton box containing 25 taped parcels of cannabis with a total weight of 12.3 kilograms. 5 persons, including the driver and a female, have been taken into custody. They are currently assisting with the investigation. Another incident of reckless driving results with another vehicle underwater. Here's more. President David Granger is probably thanking his lucky stars right now. This morning, a truck driver lost control of his vehicle, sending it straight into the trench adjacent to the president's private residence. The truck was reportedly abandoned by the driver. The driver of the flatbed truck, a license plate GEE 7682, lost control of the vehicle, struck a traffic signal, and plunged into the drain at the junction of Mandela and Homestretch Avenues. An eyewitness related to Guyana Chronicle that at around 11 hours this morning, 2 trucks were traveling south along Mandela Avenue, one carrying rice and the other with a crane affixed on it. The eyewitness related that the lorry with the crane showed no sign of slowing down and would have collided with the other truck. However, the truck driver swerved left to avoid collision. The front of the lorry plunged into the drain, taking pieces of the bridge and traffic signal with it. Police at the scene confirmed that the driver had indeed fled the scene before they arrived. The waterlogged lorry is registered to a M. Arjun of 140 Lusignan pasture. Guyana has again been the first across the Guyanas, but this time it's for something very positive. Senior reporter Wendell Jeffrey has more.
Across the world, religion is becoming contemporaneous and is catching up with modern times, and Guyana will not be left behind. It would therefore be nothing less than a watershed moment that took place over the weekend when the local Anglican Church consecrated and ordained its first female and first ever Indigenous woman, Deacon Rita Hunter. This was an inaugural moment for the Church of God, not only in Guyana, but in French Guyana and Suriname. Deacon Hunter is married to Mr. Barrington, and she has 2 children, Raul and Kathleen. The 62-year-old Hunter resides at Cayuni in Region 7, in the presence of elated family and friends, which included Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Barrington Scotland. Bishop Charles Davison presented Deacon Hunter with her instrument of ordination. When asked about her newly minted appointment, Deacon Hunter is reported to have said, "I feel blessed, called by the Lord. I have come through the ranks. I was a lay minister, and now I become a deacon. It is a privilege. I am so happy." No doubt her parishioners are also happy. We at Channel 2 Headline News would want to join with all others in wishing Deacon Hunter well in her newly defined journey. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, I am Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell, and congratulations to Deacon Rita Hunter. Don't go away. Still ahead, we have our regional news, international news, entertainment, and the weather.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Okay, kids, you know why we're here?
Yes! We're here to buy a gift for Father's Day.
Yes, we are. Let's go do that. Clearance has the best Father's Day sale on Saturday, June 17th. Get 20 to 50% off selected designer brands of jeans, jerseys, shirts, sneakers, shoes, and suits.
Mom, let's get a cologne for Dad.
Sure, no problem. Choose from a variety of colognes, belts, wallets, and much, much more.
I think Dad's gonna like what we got him. Yes, me too.
All right, good. Well, let's go. Whether you're taking Dad out to dinner, church, or any other special occasion for Father's Day, choose Clearance. Clearance, always keeping you in style.
Here's what's happening on Waterloo Street at John Lewis Styles during the month of June. Shop for Father's Day and you could win an all-inclusive trip for two to Arrow Point Nature Resort. Buy any men's suit and get a free tie, or buy any men's pair of shoes and get a free pair of socks. Traveling this summer? Buy any luggage set and get a free travel pouch. Visit us on Waterloo Street for more choices and better prices. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
Now opened, the new thriving Chinese restaurant Providence location. Perfect for large events, exquisite menus featuring traditional Korean, Chinese and Western cuisine, elegant grand dining room and seats for over 500 persons. Also additional seating on the upper flat, luxurious VIP rooms and an elevator for your comfort. The new thriving Chinese restaurant second location above Massey Supermarket, Amazonian Mall, Providence. For reservation call 623-4097 or 657-9067.
In news from the region now, in Trinidad and Tobago, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says government will seek experts from the Australian manufacturers of the TNT Express and the TNT Spirit to service the two inter-island ferries. C News has more.
Dr. Keith Rowley says government will seek experts from the Australian manufacturers of the TNT Express and the TNT Spirit to service the two inter-island ferries. The Prime Minister took a trip to Tobago last Sunday on the TNT Express, a trip he said which took 5.5 hours because only 2 of the 4 engines on the TNT Express were operational. The Prime Minister said in his discussions with the management of the Port Authority, he was shocked to learn that the Port Authority does not have maintenance records of the ferries for the last 11 years.
Which is long overdue. I've read a report which has shown a series of operational difficulties with the ferry, some of them quite serious, with respect to the steering gear and the introduction of water into the system that shouldn't be there and so on.
Bay Ferries, the Canadian company which had the contract to service the inter-island passenger ferries for 11 years, left the country on September 30th, 2016, when its management contract with the port ended. The Prime Minister said it's unacceptable that no arrangements were made to bring the maintenance data into an archive or control of the Port Authority, and they now have to begin to build a record of maintenance and service for the ferries.
Asking the Minister of Transport to put into the port an investigative team to understand exactly what is going on in the port with respect to the ferry service.
In entertainment news, according to The Hollywood Reporter, longtime Hollywood actor Adam West is dead at the age of 88 after a short bout with leukemia. On Friday night, West died peacefully in his Los Angeles home surrounded by his family. Adam West was best known for his starring role in the classic 1960 series Batman. West reached the pinnacle of American pop culture after Batman debuted in January of 1966, only to see his career fall victim to typecasting after the ABC show was canceled. Our dad always saw himself as the bright knight and aspired to make a positive impact on his fans' lives. He was and always will be our hero, his family said in a statement. Since the show ended, he held roles in several movies and television series. After struggling for years without a steady job, the actor experienced a resurgence in his career when he accepted an offer to voice the mayor of Quahog, Adam West, on Seth MacFarlane's hit animated series, Family Guy. And internationally, Puerto Rico's governor announced the U.S. territory voted for statehood in a non-binding referendum on Sunday, held amid an economic crisis that has sparked an exodus of islanders to the U.S. mainland. U.S. Congress, however, has the final say in any changes to the island's political status. Al Jazeera has more.
It's a resounding victory for those fighting for statehood, but may largely be symbolic. Voters were given three choices: independence, statehood, or remaining a US territory. Opposition parties, unhappy with the language on the ballot, called for a boycott. And their supporters appeared to have responded in large numbers. Voter turnout was low. That will only add to criticism of the result's legitimacy, but the island's governor says it sends a clear message to Washington.
US citizens are democratically choosing a path. It is your duty now to take action now. Obviously, there's going to be a ton of obstacles, but we're also going to have a slew of strategies.
The referendum was the fifth in the island's history and comes amidst a deep economic crisis. Puerto Rico has debts of more than $70 billion, a financial state that may be the biggest obstacle to it becoming the 51st US state. For years, it's been clear people here want change, but opinions remain sharply divided.
Why should we allow a foreign country to rule our land? Why in the world they are not superior? It's like slavehood. It just shouldn't happen.
The referendum was held despite not being approved by the US Department of Justice, and any decision about status remains in the hands of the US Congress.
With a victory for statehood, the governor will now put something into place known as the Tennessee Plan. It means he'll take a congressional delegation to Washington, D.C., where he'll officially ask for Puerto Rico to become the 51st U.S. state, an appeal most think will fall on deaf ears.
With low turnout and massive debt, it's highly unlikely the US Congress will consider the governor's appeal. So for now, Puerto Ricans will likely remain US citizens on an island in political limbo. And Al Jazeera, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
And here is today's weather forecast. And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and SafeTVGuyana.com. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast. and Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from this newscast, saying thank you for welcoming us into your homes, and do have a blessed evening.